Hey guys, what's up? Spectre here. And in our last lore dive, we took a look at what it's like for the rich in Night City, the cream of the crop, the 1% of the 1%. But this time, I thought we should take a look at how pretty much everyone else lives. This is what it's like to be poor in Night City. In the ultra-late stage capitalist society of Cyberpunk 2077, the middle class is all but non-existent, and the vast divide between rich and poor has only expanded over time. Where Night City means opportunity and escape for the rich, it means a struggle for survival for the poor. While the rich inhabit towering skyscrapers, often funded by the very companies they work for, like Konopeki Tower, seen here, the lower class are packed into slums, such as megabuildings. Entire towns packed into a Kowloon City-like structure. The poor outside the city pack themselves into trailers just beyond city limits. While the rich can be seen zooming about the sky in flying cars, the poor are stuck on the ground. Rather than driving something fancy like the Erendite, they're more likely to drive an Archer, a Quadra, or a Valafort. These cars are incredibly utilitarian in design, with zero frills, unless you're driving a combat cab. You'll be customizing your own ride once you hit Night City, and small garages like this one keep the denizens of Night City mobile. If you don't own your own car, Night City Area Rapid Transit, or NCART, has you covered. Providing maglev rail service to all sectors of the city, this mass transit system has a pretty reliable track record, at least a better one than BART. Tickets are about $0.25 per station traveled, providing reliable transit at a low price. A few months ago, we were introduced to the various aesthetic styles of cyberpunk, one of them being entropism, typified by necessity over style. This design language and even fashion style came about after a global financial crash in the world of cyberpunk in the early 90s. One that took decades to recover from. The elite in the world of Cyberpunk 2077 enjoy levels of fashion that don't stop at the furs they wear or the tech they implant themselves with. As with enough money, you can change just about every aspect of your body. For the poor, cybernetics are more focused on mobility and utility. The truth is that for most people in Night City, the main concern with cybernetics is simply being able to afford them. And even then, the cyberware most people can afford doesn't come from a fancy boutique, it comes from a ripper doc. These underground medtechs can perform installs on the cheap, but don't follow all the medical codes and procedures that a much more expensive doctor might adhere to. While the rich might have synthetic animal parts like ears and tails grafted to their body, or chrome plating used to replace their skin, the less financially well-off in the city might augment themselves in a way that helps them do their job better. This could include some sort of body augment or even a listening or voice augment. As I stated in my previous lore video, policing in Night City is more about protecting power structure than actual justice.
Message!
And so the poorer areas of the city are left to fend for themselves for the most part. Higher-level police outfits such as Max Tac are reserved for dealing with corpo troubles or cyber psychos. In poorer areas like Haywood, you might find beat patrol officers or cruise patrol officers. These officers can usually be dealt with privately and bribed, as you might be doing yourself when you hit Night City. In even poorer regions like Pacifica, local gangs will usually keep the peace, or rather a loose control over specific areas. In a system that has left a community vulnerable, it's no surprise that they have to form their own organizations to protect themselves. It's already confirmed that you'll be dealing with some local groups like the Voodoo Boys and Valentinos. Heavily armed territorial groups at war, an economic system stacked against you, and a local government that flat out doesn't care about you could get a bit taxing, and that's where some look for an escape. Poorer citizens don't have the luxury of fancy parties or clubs, but have somewhat seedier venues and methods of escape. Braindance clubs are common fare, allowing patrons to virtually and vicariously live the experiences of others. Sometimes these are sexual encounters, others are adrenaline-packed, and others still are black market braindances, or XBDs. And they're even more extreme, even letting you experience virtual death. There are also a slew of illicit substances flooding the streets of Night City, as megacorporations use the poor as guinea pigs for their various chemicals and meds. Other drugs still are made in basement labs, but as the wiki says, they're all bad news. Some of these include stims used by local muscle for combat readiness and enhancement. Others are drugs like synth coke or blue glass, a hallucinogenic originally developed as a bioweapon. Another similar drug is black lace, what's known as a high-powered Dorf, a drug meant to numb pain while raising your adrenal levels. and it was designed by a certain military corporation. And some of its side effects even include cyberpsychosis. These are all rare, hard to find, and worth a hefty sum of eddies, but they offer some escape from the grim living conditions that make up the lower rungs of Night City. But otherwise, Night City is a jungle made of twisted steel and glass, one where survival is often all someone can ask for, and some don't even get that. The less affluent areas of Night City are filled with hard-working and often exploited people looking to eke out some sort of existence in the biggest megacity in Cyberpunk. But don't be fooled. There's as much exploitation among the rich as they scramble up corporate ladders and corpos double-cross each other. Except here, it's people who are already hurting, forced to exploit others, or be exploited themselves. Hopefully, you'll fare better when you finally get to the city yourself. But that's it for this deep dive into lore. For more on Cyberpunk 2077, including news and trailer and stream breakdowns, make sure to get subbed. And especially make sure to get subbed if you want to enter my next giveaway, and here's a hint. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.